hearing. Joining me now is California Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell. He was inside the room today while this former aide testified behind closed doors. Congressman Swalwell, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, this person did not appear under subpoena, so I assume that means you can tell us a little bit more than what is normal, or what are the rules governing this?
Yeah, well, we're having closed hearings right now, Chuck, because the nature of this is it's a national security event. There's not that many witnesses to it, and before they can cook up alibis or tailor their testimony to each other, we want to hear what happened, get a sense of the timeline, understand who was in on this shakedown scheme, who was not, and then consider whether public hearings would help us to move forward. So we're trying not to characterize testimony. What I can say, I would, if there was contradictory testimony to what the whistleblower said or what the president confessed to, I would tell you. There was not. There was more corroboration of the whistleblower complaint, the president's own confession, and what public text messages we've already put out from Ambassador Volker. So you're just seeing this come into focus now. Again, we're giving the president a fair process, but we're moving quite expeditiously by having another cooperative witness come in today.
I'm curious, there's public reporting now. Tomorrow you're going to hear from Gordon Sondland, who's the ambassador to the EU, who was sort of, well, according to the Washington Post, part of a group that was colloquially nicknamed the Three Amigos: Rick Perry, Gordon Sondland here, and Rudy Giuliani. Excuse me, Sondland, and I believe the Volker. Yes, thank you. Did you guys know that already? Has this? What I'm trying to figure out is, what are we learning publicly, and what do you guys already know? The Three Amigos anecdote, was that a known anecdote already?
Well, what I can tell you, because we've released many of Volker's text messages, is that Volker and Sondland played a critical part in Ukraine foreign policy, acting in the interests of Donald Trump and his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, and that was contra to this separate, legitimate foreign policy track that others at the State Department were trying to run. That is what has been of such concern by so many career Foreign Service officers.
What else do you think Gordon Sondland can share, and are you at all concerned that he is going to be less cooperative because he didn't appear the first time?
No, I'm not concerned about that part at all. And the fact that he's coming in will help us. And the fact that others have come in, I think, shows that the dam has been broken in a sense that, we're getting cooperative witnesses. They're not defying the law as the president and the Secretary of State have asked them to do. So I think we will learn a lot more tomorrow. But again, we want to understand, who was a part of the shakedown scheme that was not U.S. foreign policy and only benefited the president, and who was just legitimately doing their job and saw all of this wrongful conduct.
Tell me about last night's caucus meeting, where there clearly is a divide inside among House Democrats about whether you guys should go on the record, a roll call on the issue of the impeachment inquiry.
Well, we're fully behind the Speaker, and she's the one who was leading us with this inquiry. And honestly, I have not heard that divide. What I hear is that in the history of investigations in the world, never has a suspect dictated the terms of the investigation, and Donald Trump is not going to change that history. We don't have to have an inquiry vote. We have an inquiry going on right now. We're learning a lot, and if he is impeached, would have a trial in the Senate. Right now, I promise you, all of his allies on the Republican side are in this hearing, and they are defending him, asking questions. They get equal time. Members are asking questions. There's no conspiracy against him in this process.
That I get, but are you at all concerned that they're going to essentially litigate you to death to ever prevent you? Like, take the Rudy Giuliani subpoena. He's going to ignore the subpoenas. Okay. You guys are going to have to go to court to try to enforce the subpoenas. And then they're going to appeal and say, no. You guys have to prove this is an impeachment inquiry. I guess my point is, could you short circuit some of this wasted court action? Do you see where I'm going here?
It's a great question. And when you have a suspect confessing to the crime, you don't need as many witnesses. And as far as we see it, yes, it would be nice to hear from Rudy Giuliani, and I'm just using him as an example. If people like Giuliani are going to defy our subpoenas, We see it as, well, you are losing the opportunity to exonerate yourself because right now all the arrows point to guilt. If you don't come in, if you don't follow the subpoena, we put that in the consciousness of guilt box. And if it's directed by the president, then that is under consideration for obstruction of Congress. Move on.
All right. Congressman Eric Swalwell, a member of the Intel Committee. He's been in the room for many of these interviews. Thanks for coming on and sharing your views. I appreciate it. Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Beat the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.